Decay Americana. From the collection Decay Americana by E.S. Wynne. It's 3 a.m. and I've lost everything. The waitress is as burnt and bitter as the coffee, but nothing else is open at this time of night. The sausage and eggs are lukewarm when I get them, the meat more gristle and grease than anything actually edible. I pick at it more out of duty than interest. It's the kind of meal that slides in as easily as it slides out, doesn't leave much of an impression in between. I don't know how long I'm going to stay here. Losing my job left me with no reason to hit the hay at a reasonable hour. There's no one waiting for me in my dingy apartment. Not anymore. Corporate restructuring. That was the reason McDaniels gave when he dropped the bomb on me this morning. Corporate restructuring. Fancy way of saying, we're moving your job to India because the people there can do it faster for 1/10 of what we're paying you. I bet they can. Any place where you can live like a king on a couple of dollars a day is sure to have some very eager people willing to do and learn just about anything to get a few cents further from the shacks in the sewage-choked ghettos where almost everyone else lives. Oh well, I remember thinking. I never much liked this job anyway. Hated it, actually. Had fantasies about ways I could skin my boss alive and get away with it. Corporate prick. But hey, at least I still had Joni. Thought I had Joni. She had a job. We had a place. I remember thinking that, yeah, getting laid off sucks, but it's not the end of the world. I'd come home, soak up some of the pity Joni was sure to heap on me, then hit the streets in the morning, hit up all the places that I could put in a solid day at, without wanting to paint the bathroom wall with a stipple effect of my own bullet-blended brains afterward. Of course, when I got home, I caught Joni with the guy from down the hall. I was mad, but it was a cool, tired kind of anger. I guess on some level I expected it. Things between Joni and I had been kind of flat for a while. Not exciting, not anything more than just traditional, two-dimensional, predictable. I guess I wasn't the only one just going through the motions, pretending we had a future. The guy from down the hall split immediately. He had enough sense to know he was in the wrong, but not Joni. We fought. She yelled, but I was too tired to do anything more than tell her to get out, to pack her bags and never come back. Turned out she'd already packed her bags and written a note. She was just taking the neighbor for a ride on our mattress before she lit out. Great timing. There were no apologies. Joni's not the kind of girl to ever admit that she's wrong. In her mind, she had a right to ride a stain into my sheets before she left. In her mind, I'm the one in the wrong. How dare I come home early? The nerve. I tried to stay there after she left. I drank half a beer trying to stay there, took a crappy, dreamless nap on the couch, even put on some meaningless midday TV to try to mellow the fire in my mind. But nothing made that apartment feel like home again. Nothing made me want to stay. With no job and no Joni, the world was gray, a flat haze of dead air rotting into an empty horizon. Eventually, I ended up here, wasted the rest of the day watching people stumble past the windows, watching the cars, the way the traffic thinned, thickened, thinned again. Eventually, I'll have to go home again. The waitress is already giving me the eye, probably wondering if I'm another homeless guy who thinks he can spend the night somewhere warm for the price of some rubbery eggs and a pair of dried-out sausages. Might not be far from the truth. The home I have doesn't feel like home anymore. Might not be home for much longer if I can't find a job. I set the mug of burnt coffee aside as the waitress gives me that look that says she's about to ask me what the hell I'm still doing poking at my food. I make a show out of paying the bill, lay down cash with a decent tip to keep her from saying anything as I leave. I know I should probably go home, try to get some sleep, but the idea of laying down in that bed, The bed that had been ours. That bed that's probably still damp with someone else's passion and sweat. The car is cold. The night is cold. Overhead, the cold, full moon is the only thing that makes sense. I should feel happy. I should feel free. I couldn't have asked for a cleaner breakaway from the job I hated and the woman I haven't loved for years. And yet...